I've just come across the worst idea in the history of mankind, and it might become a reality. The World Cup is about to be every 2 years. That would be a disaster for the game. There are many reasons. Number one, fixture congestion. Arsene Wenger and his merry band of greedy bastards want the World Cup to be every 2 years, and that will cause fixture congestion like we have never seen before. By the way, Arsene Wenger is a hypocrite. He complains about fixture congestion every time he managed. And he wants to add more of it. World Cup qualifying is usually over 2 to 3 years. He wants to make that 1 year long because he wants to have Confederation Championships every 2 years and the World Cup every 2 years. Just think about this. Let's say a team had won the Champions League and the Premier League the season before. That would have them play 2 Club World Cup games, 1 Super Cup game, and 1 Community Shield game. Okay, that's 4. 38 Premier League games is 42. Let's get to the final of both cups with no replays. That'll be 54 games already. With this new Champions League, that would be 17 more games than 54. That is 71 club games. Not that far off, but with this extra qualifying, it'll be crazy. I think Chelsea in 2013 played 69, I think. It was 68. One of those two. And now you're adding qualifying games, international games. Let's say the player plays in Asia. That would be 22 World Cup qualifying games in 1 year. And a 7-game World Cup, that would be 29 games, add to 71. That is 100 games at the absolute minimum. Let's say if you got through the Asian third place playoff, then the Confederation playoff. That is 104 games. That to an extra Champions League round. It would be 106 games. Let's say there's 2 FA Cup replays, which is the maximum. 108 games in a year. Let's take the 100 number. You'd have a game every 3.65 days. So basically over 2 games a week per se. With tens of thousands of miles of travel. You want your stars to stay in the field? Stop scheduling so many games. Number 2. This is all for greed. Everything is for a couple of rich television producers to play all sorts of games, most of which mean almost nothing. The Champions League is about to be expanded into nothingness. They expanded the Champions League by over 100 games to eliminate less teams than they did before while adding more teams to the tournament. I believe it's something like 180 games, I believe the group stage will be now, to eliminate 12 teams of 36. All right. Just think about that. And they're adding an extra knockout round to the tournament. Right? The loss of specialness of the tournaments. The tournaments like the Euros and the World Cup are special because they are rare. That is why they're so memorable and entertaining. Oh, most importantly, this is all for greed. Players have spoken out against this. Fans have spoken out against this. Even UEFA have spoken out against this. Just think about that. UEFA, who just expanded their Champions League, have complained about fixture congestion with this World Cup. Just think about that. Oh, and for managers, how much player rotation will there be now with all these extra games? Let's see. Let's divide the World Cup qualifying by 3. Let's say the 14 games were added. Then 6 Champions League games. That would be 20 extra games have been added. And you see all the squad rotation now. Clubs are literally going to have 2 separate teams to play games. Let's say FIFA has 2 games a week for international breaks. 11. So you need 3 months a year just for qualifying games for the World Cup. Like extra few weeks for playoffs. And the World Cup takes a month. So at an absolute minimum, you will have to have 71 club games in just 8 months at the most possible time. Let's say that's like 245 days. That's about a game. That's over 2 games a week for an entire year. We just saw this with the Premier League. How 2 games a week, even for a little while, ruins teams. Man City spent about 6 months with playing 2 games without a single midweek off. Just think about that. Without any time to recuperate. Teams are playing back-to-back days, every 2 days. Actually, there's only one case of back-to-back, but every 2 days was quite common. We saw you would need, and that's when they struggled most of the season despite cruising to the title with a ridiculously deep squad. Could you imagine a team, let's say, Leicester dealing with that? Or I don't know, Wolves? Wolves use like 18 players a whole season 1 year. Could you imagine them having actually qualified for the Champions League that they were could have qualified for if they'd done better during the lockdown? With this new format? They wouldn't have 11 players. So basically this is a game of let's stock the benches and probably need 3 teams this way because I don't think that the Premier League is going to stop during these international breaks the way they're going. It's unreal. Therefore, for the good of the game, we must stop having the World Cup every 2 years and make this idea into the dustbin of history. Thanks for watching.